While you're rocking with us at Toxic Radio, don't forget to check us out on social media.
I want details, and I want them right now.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Now you're talking, brother.
Chat with us, keep up on news. Just don't make it weird. Don't be a stalker. Don't be that guy.
You just want to suck the joy out of everything.
Toxic Radio. Get infected. Planning your Saturday night can be a bit of a bitch.
Saturday night is the loneliest night in the week.
Well, it doesn't have to be. Load up Toxic Radio every Saturday night for the Heavy Metal Happy Hour with the one and only Fishman.
I know that, dude.
There will be interviews, ticket giveaways, a little bit of banter with Toxic Mike, and of course great metal from the 80s all the way through today. Starts at 7 p.m., runs until Fish says it's over.
Everyone get out!
Catch it only on Toxic Radio. Don't play it safe. Play it toxic. Hey guys, dating life gone pretty shitty?
I find you so creepy I think you should have to walk around with a bell around your neck.
Finding yourself getting a little desperate for some female companionship?
Alexa, tell me you love me.
Hell no. You disgust me.
What you need is to upgrade your style right now. The Toxic Store's got exactly what you need. Pick up some stylish gear featuring Deviant Gamer, Toxic Radio, and the Heavy Metal Happy Hour.
Oh, yeah!
You can find the store through the Toxic Radio app or toxicradio.net. Get in the game.
Do I make you horny, baby?
Get yourself a little love.
That guy's getting boobies.
Yeah, he is.
Toxic Radio and the Toxic Store. Don't buy it safe. Buy it toxic.
Welcome to Show 44, Wire2Wire Sports. I am your host, Gene Walzak, and to my right, I have the man, the myth, the legend, the uncle, Scholastic Shally.
What's going on?
It's getting college football season. Got to get the Scholastic back.
We're getting close.
Damn right, damn right.
Can't wait.
To my left, Cottrell's being so selfish, being at a wedding in Vegas. I mean, screw the wedding. This is Wire2Wire. I'm kidding. But, hey, we got a very formidable replacement. We got East Coast Gridiron podcast host Dante Sell. The man is fresh from the Hall of Fame. Dante, welcome to the show. Good to have you back. Second time in the studio.
Yeah. Glad to be back, guys.
We got an action-packed show for you today. We're going to recap UFC. We got the video games bracket, Elite 8. We got the tight ends list, top 10. Cottrell's even sent those in with a graphic. You would think he could do a graphic for our show, but they're really nice graphic. I've seen it.
His priorities better get back in check.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Phillies are on fire. Red hot. I didn't think they were ever going to lose ever again. They lost last night.
I don't even watch baseball, and I've been hearing about that.
We got our final Olympic thoughts. You got to be kidding me. I got a ton. We got a ton. Let's get started. All right, but we get started on the lamest of topics of all time. We get started on the lamest of topics of all time.
I don't think it's lame. I just think it was a lame fight.
It was a very lame fight. And it drove me nuts to know that Derrick Lewis just looked so flat in that fight. You know, in front of his hometown, he looked terrible. And Ciryl Gane, I've watched him in numerous fights. And, I even had to correct somebody last night at softball. He walks up to me, he goes, you think Francis Ngannou's got a shot against Ciryl Gane? I said, wait, what?
We all double-taked.
I'm like, how many Ciryl Gane fights have you watched? He goes, just the Derrick Lewis fight. I'm like, well, that's probably why you think that.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Jacob
the jeweler. But Ciryl Gane dominated Derrick Lewis, third round TKO. Your thoughts on the fight? What did you think, Shally? Start us off, and then I'll get Dante's. Dante's a huge UFC guy, too, so we'll kind of hear that.
There's not really much to say. I mean, I was disappointed. I mean, I think we all wanted Derrick Lewis to win. I think it'd been a great scene in front of his hometown fans to win the interim belt and pretty much book the Ngannou fight on the spot. I was shocked. I mean, I was shocked with his kind of a showman as he is sometimes, and he's got highlight knockouts, and he was very flat. Like it was almost like the pressure got to him. Like he didn't like. And I know fighting your hometown can do that sometimes. A lot of expectation, a lot of people, a lot of distractions during the week with tickets, all that crap. You hear it all the time. But I was shocked. I was shocked he looked that flat, and I was shocked he got dominated because he did. He was never in that fight.
Never.
So,
Not. It wasn't even close. Hey, by the way, Michael Robert Lafferty checking on the wire line. He's off a week at softball. We get back.
He's back.
We missed you, brother. We missed you. He said the odds opened up. Francis opened as a -190 favorite. I'm assuming that'll go over 200 by fight time.
I would jump all over that because it's definitely gonna.
It's gonna go over 2.
It's gonna go over 2.
Dante. I know you've seen more than one Ciryl Gane fight in your life. Tell us how you think the fight went. What your thoughts are on Ciryl Gane versus Ngannou.
Yeah, so, I mean, Ciryl Gane did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Run away a little bit. Seen those big shots come. I mean, to give Derrick Lewis credit, he tried to wind up a couple times and it just didn't work out. I thought the fight was very similar to, when Conor fought Nate the second time. Conor was doing a lot of running in the fight, regardless if you agree with that or not, but he was. Not trying to get clipped, and it was the same thing with Ciryl Gane. I mean, he was kind of flying around the league, the ring. But I mean, it's one of those things where you're looking at a fighter that does have a lot more speed. It looks like a Roman statue, kind of the Francis Ngannou type of body build, of course. But it's just one of those things, man. That's how you have to fight sometimes against a guy with a lot of power. And expect to see that against Francis Ngannou too, is trying to get out of there, trying to avoid those strikes, trying to head bob, back up against the cage and rolling out to the left or the right to get away from those big shots. And, after a while, I mean, to Derrick Lewis's credit, maybe he, in his hometown and things like that, maybe the spotlight was a little bit too big for him. But, I mean, you try to throw all your power at some punches over and over and over again and see if you get a little tired. I mean, he's in fight shape, but he's not in the best shape ever either.
Yeah, but the biggest problem was I don't think he threw a punch for the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the fight. I mean, that fight looked like Derrick Lewis the first round.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
The first round, yeah. I mean, he did try, though.
I get the feelers. He tried later after he was getting. But if Derrick Lewis is going to get you, he's going to get you either early or get you when you're sleeping, like he did with Volkov. But that fight looks so bad, and for him to give that type of performance in front of his home crowd, he'll never. We talked about this yesterday. He'll never be a UFC champion.
Well, this makes you respect fighters like John Jones even more, because John is going to stand there in the pocket with you and take all those shots, regardless if it's smart or not. He's going to try to prove a point. That's the only thing I don't like with Ciryl Gane, and I know it's going to be a lot of running in this next fight, and it's ultimately going to be Francis Ngannou. And not to get off topic of the fight, but people are starting to start this narrative of that Ciryl Gane and Francis Ngannou hate each other, and they don't.
They don't.
So
it doesn't matter. Francis is still going to kill him. If the
knows?
Francis that shows up versus Stipe shows up, that Francis. Now, see, this is the thing that I always like to find out. When a fighter wins that belt, one of two things happen. They get the
yeah,
and it almost lets them not train as hard.
They lose their edge,
or they get that listen. I'll be honest with you. When Ronda won the belt, she did not have that. She had that. I want to fucking kill everybody.
Yeah, which is again,
and that's what some great champions do.
But you just said it. It separates the good ones from the greats. The greats stay hungry when they get on top because they don't want to come off the top. They don't want to get knocked off the top of the mountain. Other people go, okay, I finally accomplished my goal. Just big deep breath, and then you see, they're not champs long usually.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's normally those fighters, those journeyman fighters that finally get that title for the first time. Eddie Alvarez, finally get that title for the first time, and then it's they just want to breathe air. And I don't know if Francis is going to be that guy, or I don't know if he wants to be dominant. You knew Stipe wanted to be dominant. Stipe was the guy that when he got the belt, he didn't want to let that belt go. He didn't exhale.
No, I would tend to lean that I think Ngannou wants to be that guy. It's been a crazy journey for him.
His backstory gives all the proof on why he's going to keep that belt for the long time.
Yes.
And it's an impressive backstory from him walking from the streets of Africa all the way to catching a ride to France and training out there. I mean, he's come from nothing. And I don't know if you guys watched the ceremonies and things that were thrown in Cameroon and things like that when he got back. It was pretty impressive. So and I mean, it's the same thing. To me, it's kind of similar to when Charles Oliveira won the title. He worked his way to the top, bumps in the roads. I'm not saying that's the same road that Ngannou's taken by any means, but when he got back to his home country and they started celebrating that, it feels different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it feels a lot different. It feels like all the hard work
that could also give you the exhale. That could also give you the I made it.
And in some cases, but to Shalley's point, you know, Ngannou has been fighting all his life. He's not going to give it up as as easily as somebody else.
I think the thing with those guys is it becomes a bigger sense of accomplishment. Again, it's a bigger goal that they reached, and a hurdle they got over. There's nothing wrong with going home and celebrating and doing all that. They deserve every bit of it. It's a matter of what they do the week after that.
Correct.
Is it home? Is it going home? Being complacent, relaxing, or the great ones, they go right back in the gym.
The stats guru just brought something up. Don on the wire line. 98-16 in significant strike difference.
That's terrible.
Then Lewis.
And if you would have told me that before the fight, I wouldn't have believed you.
98-6. You realize how shitty it is to get hit 98 times by a UFC heavyweight? I could probably take one, die. That would be it. 98 times he got hit with significant strikes.
It was definitely one-sided. I will give you that. It was one-sided, but was it the funnest fight to watch? Absolutely not.
No.
So you hope that just doesn't carry over to Derrick Lewis and Ngannou too, with Ciryl Gane, substituting in for Derrick Lewis this time. I think to me, honestly, I think if Derrick Lewis would have got his chance, which I think it was very deserving for him to go and fight Ngannou next, we're looking at a completely different fight.
Absolutely.
But
yeah,
I mean, who knows? Who knows? I know the UFC wants to keep pushing champions up, and I don't like the way that,
I don't want to hear that John Jones bullshit. John Jones getting in the ring with France, and the guy in France is going to kill him.
Disagree.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
That's a toss up. I don't know how
he could lose. He's not going to get killed. I mean, I don't believe that for a second.
So here's my argument for Francis and why I think he'll run through Ciryl Gane.
Oh, I agree with going through Gane. I was talking about Jones.
I get it, but here's my argument for why I think he'll run through Gane. Francis' last opponent that was just as fast as him with hands was Alistair Overeem. Francis wants someone that he's not scared of their knockout power that's quick. And I think that Ciryl Gane is that guy.
You're saying Alistair Overeem was fast?
Alistair Overeem's... So, Francis's fights, Stipe, Alistair Overeem, Derrick Lewis. Who's the fastest of the three, hands-wise? You think Stipe, or do you think Alistair Overeem? I would say Alistair Overeem's the best boxer. He's a kickboxer. Am I wrong?
I don't think he's a better technical striker than Stipe.
I don't think he's a better boxer than Stipe.
No.
I think he's a better kickboxer than Stipe, but I think
he's quicker too.
I think Stipe can be quicker than... I've never looked at Alistair Overeem as being the quickest guy out there, but the quickest striker as far as kicks and stuff, yeah. It's lightning's fast.
And are you talking clean Alistair, or are you talking juice Alistair?
I mean,
because
he's been juiced his whole career.
Well, yeah, but then when he's been clean in the UFC, he's
got dominated.
Not done well.
My point is, I think that Francis is not scared of Ciryl Gane's knockout power.
He's not at all.
And if Ciryl Gane hits him 50 times, just like Derrick Lewis got hit 98 times, that's okay, because Francis only really needs to hit Ciryl Gane 5.
People tend to forget Stipe can knock out people too. You know,
he knocked out. Daniel Cormier cold.
Yeah, and Ngannou's not
out.
Yeah, and Ngannou's not scared of anybody's power, especially compared up to his. But he's got to fight a smart fight.
He was scared of Derrick Lewis' power. I completely disagree with you there.
I think they were equally not knowing what was going to go on.
They were scared of each other's power.
No
doubt in my mind.
I agree with that, because that's a respect thing. I think they both knew whoever lands the first clean shot of that fight is probably going to win. It's
going to sleep.
Yeah.
I think that's the only fight I've ever watched Francis fight in where he's worried about someone's power.
I think he's at a different point in his career now too.
Yeah.
I think if Derrick Lewis would have won Saturday night, I think he was getting destroyed in the rematch.
So we all agree Francis Ngannou beats Ciryl Gane?
Yeah,
that's interesting to me though, because
I just don't think Gane can go in there with that same game plan. Like
It's the best Gane's ever looked.
Agreed. And to his credit, he deserves that. That was the best he's ever looked. I just don't think. I hope nobody in his camp realistically thinks he's going to go in there
and go strike for strike,
and stay in the pocket and win that fight. Like, I just don't see it.
Derrick Lewis is just too slow. Couldn't catch up to him.
I think it would be interesting if he fought somebody like Alistair Overeem or more so Stipe as a litmus test. Because jumping into Ngannou is like...
That's who they're fighting. They're fighting November. It's signed. It might not be signed yet, but it's
Is it November? Done. I thought it was December.
November. They're talking about end of November at MSG.
Yeah, because I know...
That'd be wild,
I know
right?
the rumor is Jones is going to fight Stipe in January.
No, Jones just turned it down.
Today?
Yep. Michael Robert Laffer was talking about that. Jones had no interest in that. He wants to fight for the title.
Oh, I mean, it's hard to argue that.
I hear you. He wants a cross-title fight. So
I think Jones should... I think Jones is making a mistake not fighting somebody else at heavyweight before he fights Ngannou.
Is that the style bender mistake?
I don't think it's going to be to that level because if you've seen John recently, he's huge.
I get it.
Did Conor fight somebody in lightweight before he fought Eddie Alvarez?
Yeah. You talking about 155?
Mm-hmm.
Conor,
he fought Nate.
Yeah. Conor
at 170.
Connor's mistake was
came down.
That wasn't 155.
Well, he fought Nate at 170. Then he fought Nate at 155.
Yeah. No, he fought Nate at 170.
Yeah, he fought
Nate at 170, and then he fought him at 155.
He fought him both times at 170.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up because I'm
not sure about that. I'm saying the mistake he made was that it was the same thing. He was at 155 and then jumped up to 170 and really wasn't in 170 shape like he thought he was. And then again, he was winning that fight till he gassed. So,
yeah, my point is, did he fight in 145 to move it to 155 and fight for the title? With less fights than what he fought at featherweight before he moved it up to lightweight.
Yes, I believe so.
So if you're using that logic, then John Jones should be fighting for the title by his body of work.
I'm not arguing that. I'm talking about mistake-wise, like getting in the ring and actually like feeling like what it feels like to go through a fight at heavyweight with your cardio and everything else before you jump in the cage with Ngannou.
They fought both at 170. I was incorrect.
Yeah. So that's and again, I think Stipe would have been a good match for him.
I think that's like I said, I think that's the litmus test.
It is.
He's a little quicker than both guys, and you're gonna get a complete package with him. And Ngannou's not a wrestler. I like to see somebody fight a complete fighter and see where his weaknesses are.
I'll tell you right now, Ciryl Gane is a complete fighter.
I honestly think that's gonna be Gane's game plan. Honestly, I don't think anybody in his camp can sit there and honestly look him in the eye.
Yeah, you got to take him down
and say we're gonna outstrike him for 5 rounds and not get caught. Like I just don't see that.
You have to take him down.
You do, and if you take him down, I mean, we've seen in the past. I mean, that is not where he wants to be.
Nope.
That is not his strength. I think. I mean, obviously, the mega fight, if we get there, is Ngannou Jones. I mean, that's possibly breaking every record UFC wise. I mean, it's up there.
I think everybody wants to watch that fight.
It's stylistically the David and Goliath situation. I mean, literally, John Jones is going to be big at heavyweight, but you're bringing a guy that's the complete package versus a guy that's known for his knockout power. Which one wins?
It is going to be very interesting that Jones would kind of have to play the cat and the mouse game in that fight, and that's different for him. He's going to have to rely on being quicker, being the more technical striker, getting in and getting out, and not getting caught.
That MSG card could be the greatest card ever.
Who's on it so far?
So right now it's Usman Covington.
Is it confirmed?
Well, Usman Covington confirmed.
Okay.
Chandler Gaethje confirmed.
Yeah. All right. I mean that.
Well, if you add that third fight, could you imagine that?
What third fight?
If you add Ngannou versus,
I feel like they're not going to.
I agree, but it could be like one of those UFC 200 cards.
That's a December card.
Late November.
Then that's they're gonna bump that to December. Then that'll be the big card at the end of the year.
So I'll give you a cool analogy before we move on with the Ngannou versus the John Jones fight, if that ever happens.
Okay.
We used to say this when I was involved in the sport a lot because we used to have the guys who used to step in the gym like this. Who wins, the flyer or the fly swatter?
Yeah.
And that's how we used to put that type of stuff.
Yeah, well, I would say the fly swatter.
Sometimes the fly gets away, though.
Sometimes.
Listen,
that's what happened this weekend.
It is. I mean, I'm telling you, that is the cat and mouse game of that fight. John is the cleaner striker. Ngannou definitely has the power. I don't care how big John gets. He's just going to hit harder. He's a bigger man. John's going to be the faster fighter.
Yeah, but John in his last 4 or 5 fights has almost bullied his opponents.
Yeah, but
he stalked him down and bullied him at 205.
At 205?
That's my point. So I don't think he's going to be able to do that versus Francis.
I'm literally
I agree with you.
That's literally what I'm saying.
I'm just adding on to your point.
Yeah, it's going to be, but he's definitely the quicker fighter. So it's, again, can he get in and out for 25 minutes? John is definitely more than capable of taking him down too. So, I mean, so there is that aspect of it. John's a world-class wrestler. So, dude, I'm telling you that fight is. I would love to see that fight. I mean, that changes a lot of things depending on who wins that fight. If John wins it, I mean, he's undoubtedly then like he's on a level by himself.
The guy.
He's the guy. It's him. It's him and Amanda Nunes and everybody else.
Okay, so it is time.
Let's go.
It's time. Video game bracket is time. Even though Ciryl is not here, he's better send his picks over to Mike. Mike, is that confirmed?
Yeah, I got them right here, sir.
All right, awesome. So we're going to take him fourth. We're not going to listen to his picks until after we make ours.
All right.
All right, well, what are we doing if there's a tie?
If there's a tie, it goes to the Facebook vote for next week.
Okay.
It's kind of how we do things here. We let the fans decide sometimes. All right, so here we go. Video game bracket. We got the Elite Eight. Starting at bottom right, please.
I would say we're not starting with that.
That's the heavyweight matchup of the world right there.
That's Jones and Ngannou up there.
Yeah. All right, so we got Tecmo Bowl versus Tiger Woods PGA 04. Even though I voted for Knockout Kings last week, in this selection, I have to vote Tecmo Bowl. I think Tecmo Bowl is better than Tiger Woods PGA. I was really high on Knockout Kings, obviously. I got to give Tecmo Bowl its flowers. It's a great game. I just, obviously you know my thoughts. I don't think it's good as Tecmo Super Bowl. So I'm going Tecmo Bowl over Tiger Woods PGA, and I'll kick off the first round of the Elite Eight. You want to go second, Shower, or you want the guest go second?
I'll let Dante go second.
All right, so
I feel like that was like 8 Mile. That's it. I'm just kidding.
All right, so check it out. Anytime I've played Tecmo or anything, I've always thought that there could be a better video game. So with that being said, Tiger Woods for me, because I played it more. It was a fun game. That was a family game growing up. I'm going Tiger Woods PGA. I still play the golf games to this day.
Tiger Woods PGA was amazing.
Even the new 2K game is the hotness. So, but yeah, Tiger Woods PGA 04 for me.
Tiger Woods PGA 04 is an amazing golf game. It's so fun. I told you how much I like Golden Tee. I like playing golf games. They're fun. Yeah. So I
just
get
never
it.
liked the football games in the past, man. That's
Whoa. You hope you don't say that about Tecmo Super Bowl. I hope you don't say that about Tecmo Super Bowl. There's still tournaments for Tecmo Super Bowl.
I get it.
All right. Bill, it's 1-1 right now.
So everybody knows how much of a golf fan I am, so that's no shock. Tiger, as good as Tiger is, I feel like the competition. I mean, it was kind of like the first groundbreaking golf game. Didn't have a lot of competition to go against. It was just that good that nobody else really made a game to compete with it forever until 2K came out. Tecmo Bowl is a top, however you want to cut it. It's a groundbreaking game. Kind of to your point, even Tecmo Super Bowl, regular Tecmo Bowl, like everybody in our age group, our generation has played the game. Everybody has a funny story about it.
Damn right. On the Raiders, I'm Bo Jackson.
Yeah, everybody got in a fight with their best friend because they couldn't beat them or they beat whatever. I'm going.
Bo was not allowed in my house. You were not allowed to play with Bo Jackson.
We had tournaments like that where you couldn't use the Raiders.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm going Tecmo Bowl.
So it's 2-1. Are we going to the vote, or did Ciryl make it a 3-1? Mike.
Ciryl chose Tecmo Bowl.
So we have Tecmo Bowl moving forward, 3-1. They're going to the Final Four. They're cutting down nets right now. Let's move it up. NBA Live 05 versus Tecmo Super Bowl. You know what my vote is, so I might as well go first on this one. I won't go first on the next two. This is a no-brainer. This is the easiest one of the 4. It's not close. It's Tecmo Super Bowl. That there's tournaments still being played today. If this isn't a sweep, I will be upset in my heart. Tecmo Super Bowl, clear.
I will go
decisive.
I will go Tecmo Super Bowl as well.
So that's 2-0.
I mean,
let me give NBA Live 05 his flowers.
I was literally going to say he
No,
might
no,
go
no,
that
no.
way. He already kind of said he wasn't a big Tecmo fan.
Okay. I didn't say that I was picking.
All right.
I'm
Give
just
his flowers. Give Mello its flowers.
I hope you do pick
NBA
it, 'cause
Live
I think
05.
I think there's a chance Cottrell picked Live. So
Do you know what the funny part about Live is? So Live 05 came out the year after the 2003 draft. LeBron, Mello. Then they played the season. You know how 05 comes out in 04. So Mello being on the cover of Live 05 played right to the huge Rookie of the Year controversy between Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James. So that's why everyone loved Live that year. It was the greatest Live that they had. But the funny part of it was no player ever has won Rookie of the Month every month and not won Rookie of the Year until Carmelo Anthony did that feat in 2003, 2004. Live gave him his roses and put him on the cover.
Well, that's cool, but NBA Live 05 was the first game of its kind where you can create your own dribbling style, defensive style, even your own dunk style.
These are big facts.
I'm just saying this is
2K
why
stole my player from this.
This is why it's on the list.
100%. It's in Elite 8.
Tecmo Super Bowl for me.
3-0.
What was Cottrell?
And Cottrell's 4-0. I have no doubt in my mind.
And Cottrell chose Tecmo Super Bowl.
And he said in a landslide, too. He said in a landslide. Wasn't close.
That was the easiest one of the 4.
100%. All right, let's go bottom left. We got to go bottom left. Okay. This is a fun one. This is an interesting one. You got the Charles Woodson NCAA 2006. You got to rock the Heisman, bro. Throw the knee up.
Wasn't it Desmond Howard on that cover?
Desmond Howard. Sorry. Regardless, rock the Heisman. Throw the knee up. You either go to class.
One of those Michigan greats.
You either go to class or you train. Are you going to the NFL? Are you getting thrown off the team? I don't know. NCAA 06 versus Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out might be the most played game ever.
Let me just point out, though, Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, when he came out on the ring, didn't it look like he had to pee?
Yes.
All right.
I felt like his legs were crossed. Like he's like, I'm holding it in. It's a fact right there.
I'm just stating the facts here. But even though I think NCAA Football 14 should have been here instead of 06, I'm still going with NCAA Football 06.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 1-0 NCAA Football 06.
This was, believe it or not, this was the hardest one for me.
Really?
Yeah. I've literally flip-flopped on this numerous times. I was even thinking about it driving here. I
flip-flopped on 2. This was not one of them. I still don't know who I'm picking next one.
I know I'm picking next one.
Next one's tough.
This one was a hard one for me, too. So.
Wireline, Punch-Out, Punch-Out, Punch-Out. I'm just saying.
It's probably going to win, but I'm just
No, it might not, because dude, listen, I'm telling you right now, Cottrell is a huge 06 fan.
Yeah.
Bill could wrap this up without me even voting.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, not only was it popular, it was hard. I mean,
100%.
When we all started playing it younger, listen, I guarantee you, everybody here, everybody else at home that's listening that played this, threw your damn remote at some point because you couldn't beat one of the guys. Nobody in there,
Little Mac.
Nobody beat Mike Tyson in their first chance.
Bro,
nobody. And if you did,
you got in there and you were like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, you were done in 10 seconds. Like
Ice
everybody
skates.
else. Yeah,
facts.
Mike Tyson.
So if you said you did, you're lying.
The big bald guy with the mustache. What was his name?
I don't know.
The funniest
he was
guy.
the Italian dude who used to sell the salami sandwiches before he fought.
I loved it. He was my favorite guy to fight against. Biggest head.
NCAA Football 06, obviously, minus the cover athlete. For all the college football fans, like that was like Madden. I mean, it was for us to be able to finally be able to play like with our favorite colleges. They had all the stadiums, fight songs, like everything. Like
everything was great.
It was
by
great.
far the best NCAA. By far, Dante.
No, 14 was.
Graphics wise, I mean, 14 just dominates. But
14 with that new engine and everything.
Yeah.
Bad Bull. Thank you, Snowman.
Bad Bull.
Bad Bull. That was my guy.
I'm going NCAA football.
Oh my God.
Wow.
The people on the wire line are losing their mind right now.
That's fine. That's usually what happens.
Hey, listen, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is the clear-cut winner here. It should be a knockout in the first friggin' round. Yet, here we are, me giving my hope and prayers to Cottrell in Las Vegas. I don't even know who's listening to Wire Line. Change your vote, Cottrell. Change your vote. Because I really think he picked NCAA 06. He was saying, please don't let it go home. And I'm going Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And if Cottrell let me down, I think he did.
Cottrell did pick NCAA 06.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable. This is like Wichita State beating Kansas, bro.
It happened.
This can't happen. The wire line is going nuts. They're calling for Dante and Shallcross's head right now.
It is what it is, man.
Whatever.
I have fun.
Jesus. Okay, so this one is one of those ones where I do not care which one moves on. I personally think that these are the top two out of the top three in the entire bracket. The entire bracket. You got the wraparound NHL 94. Dude, the angle view, like from the the press box view. NHL 94 was so far ahead of its time. Most incredible hockey game I've ever played, and it's not close. And you guys know how much I love Blades of Steel.
It's still fun.
ESPN 2K5. It had the ticker. It had the Madden view, bro.
That's why they brought it back during the bundle for this year's NHL or last year's NHL.
Well, it's actually been on the game the last couple years. Like you could just go in and play it. Like it was just part of the game. It was a little. I don't want to say it was dumbed down, but I mean it was still there. Because we used to do that. Like we would have NHL tournaments, and then we were done that. We would run back and just go in and play, like the classic '94 style.
Let me give ESPN 2K a shout out. I'll tell you right now, if ESPN 2K, if Madden didn't crack that deal with the NFL, and Dante, add some light to this, because Dante is in the whole graphics business. He knows insider information.
So with ESPN NFL 2K5, what people failed to realize, what pissed the NFL off is 2K Sports were like, no, we're going to sell this game for $19 regardless, just to get over the hump. Because remember, those were the two games that year. That was Ray Lewis, who introduced the hit stick. Madden was no slouch that year either. They had tough competition. But it's hard to say that a revolutionary game like NFL 2K5 on a $19 price tag or a $20 price tag was kind of hard to beat. So they proved their point there, but the NFL was like, no, since y'all want to go behind our back, we'll just do this out of spite and sign with Tiburon and EA Sports to get our football game license.
This right here, this is insider information.
There you go.
He just mentioned insiders at EA. Yep. Insiders.
Wire2Wire's connected everywhere.
We're connected, bro. We're connected. But ESPN 2K had the ticker. It had the first Madden view, like that whole, what they called the Madden view now. But my point is the first view behind the quarterback.
Yep.
It was so far ahead of its.
Oh, yeah, you could be in the helmet.
Oh my God.
You had the mansion that you can see all the trophies that you got between you and your buddies. Like, oh yeah, it was crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna go third on this one.
I'll take and go first.
So this is a tough one for me, man. Being a football fan, being a fan of 2K5, the amount of sleepovers that I had with other friends, and we played this game till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Michael Vick was a beast on it. But I'm going to have to go with NHL 94. It was just revolutionary, man. For the time that it was in, you can still play that game to this day. You can still play 2K5 to this day, but, I mean, with the way, like Shally said, the last couple of years, they've been bundling it with the games. And, this year they did the whole revamp where you could play with Ovechkin and everybody with the actual rosters this year. So, me and my wife were just playing this a couple weeks ago, so I'm going with NHL 94, man.
Shall we?
I decided on this one the other day, and I haven't changed my mind on it. I've actually felt better and better about it the more I think about it. I'm going NHL 94.
Any explanation?
I
just felt better about it.
I just go back to my experience with it.
At dinner, and he was just like,
it's
settled well.
And I had poutine for dinner tonight.
Tim Todd said, "Is it okay that I'm actually mad Punch-Out didn't win?"
Yeah,
like he's literally at home angry.
Cry.
Bro,
okay.
Tim Todd is...
Tim Todd. No,
upset.
listen. It's a... Yeah.
RJ's upset, too.
Oh, RJ might punch something now. That's the problem.
So we have 2 for 2, NHL 94.
I think it's the more fun game to me. I think 2K5 is a great game. I think the biggest thing with 2K5, though, is, and we've kind of just talked about it, it was more about the presentation of the game and the graphics, whereas I think NHL 94 is a way funner game to play. I like the gameplay better, and again, we all have NHL 94 stories, all of us.
And actually with NFL 2K5, I mean, for the people out there that are going to vote for that, we haven't seen realistic tackling in years compared to that game. The physics in that game is much like you tackle somebody in Madden and fly 10 yards down the field.
The gameplay in ESPN NFL 2K5 was amazing too.
There's a lot of predetermined tackles that happen in today's Madden.
Correct.
There it was. You need to press square to tackle me.
Mike, I'm going against my rule here.
No.
No,
I
need Cottrell's vote.
No, you're going first. Cottrell was the tiebreaker vote. We already decided that. You're going. So if you're going NHL 2K5, that's fine. It'll go to Cottrell. I'm not letting you off the hook here.
I'm going NHL 94.
Yes.
I didn't want ESPN at 2K5 to get swept because it's that good of a game.
It is. Again, these are 2 1 seeds. I mean, if I know we decided not to do it, if we did seed them, they're probably the earliest they should have met would have been next round. But and Mike Tyson's punch out the same way. That's a 1 or 2 seed. So yeah, some of these games getting knocked out now are games that people feel very strongly about.
Cottrell, did he go to ESPN so it didn't get swept?
Gene, you are correct. Cottrell did go ESPN 2K5.
See, that's why I wanted his vote, because I knew I was picking NHL 94, but I didn't want ESPN NFL 2K5 to get swept. And like I was okay with it going to the listeners and letting them vote because the Wireline all says it, NHL 94. But my point being is ESPN 2K5, if you haven't played it, it is an incredible football game.
Yeah, if you haven't played it, go pick it up and play it. Like you won't be disappointed. Like even with the graphics aren't terrible. Like,
NHL 94 is so good though.
I mean, for my video game folks, go out there and download the PS2 emulator and get it for free.
Do that too.
NHL 94 though, man, to give it its flowers, it's one of those games where you just don't know who can win at any given time. Me and my wife were playing it. She's not the most video game savvy person out there, but she beat me in one game. To me, that's fun. You just don't know. You don't need the hit stick and all that stuff and these special controls like you need nowadays. It was just pure put yourself on the bracket with a couple of friends and see who wins at the end of the day.
Cottrell's on the wire line. Cottrell, I'm going to ask you one time before we just finalize this bracket. Are you sure you want to go at NCAA Football 06? Because Mike Tyson's Punch-Out should be in this Final Four. I look at this Final Four, I see Tecmo Bowl, I see Tecmo Super Bowl, I see NHL 94, and all 3 games were made before 2000. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out would have made it a sweep. Yeah, we chose NCAA 06. One of these things just ain't like the other, and NCAA 06 is that game. It just is. It is.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That was the Final Four next week's Tecmo Bowl versus Tecmo Super Bowl. I'm having Mooney on. Mooney is calling in. Kevin the Troll is calling in. He's going to debate Tecmo Super Bowl versus Tecmo Bowl. He's one of the biggest Tecmo Bowl players I've ever seen in my life, from Bo Jackson to playing in Tecmo Super Bowl tournaments up to last year before COVID. Yeah. So I'm going to have him call in, talk about that. He said it's a new day. NCAA 06. Cottrell!
NCAA 14, baby.
Oh, man.
I still play that game to this day.
So we have 3 games from the 90s, or actually one from the 80s.
I'll say earlier than that.
And then one from 2000s. That's incredible. You want to talk about staying power. That Final Four is going to be lit next week. I'm ready. We got to get into tight end bracket. We got to get into top 10 tight ends.
Oh, my goodness.
And this is a fly-by-the-seat type shit right here, okay? Do you want Cottrell's list, all 10 of them, before or after we do our list? Before or after? He's got a graphic and everything.
I would say...
But he gives all 10.
I would say do it before.
I would say before, too, because he's not going to be here to discuss them.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to get any feedback.
PD said unacceptable too. I agree.
For what?
For Punch-Out not being on there. Punch-Out's got to be there. All right, guys.
PD just said what he wanted the final to be, and he didn't have Punch-Out in the final, so what's the difference?
He has NHL 94.
So he was going home anyway.
That's fair, but...
All right, stop crying.
I'm crying.
Stop crying, PD.
All right, so we're going to throw up Cottrell's top 10 tight ends. Cottrell's best tight ends in the NFL for 2021, and I'm going to shred him for a couple of these picks.
I see one already that's awful.
100%. 100%.
It's got to be the same one we're going to talk about here.
So we got TJ Hawkinson at 10.
I actually think he's
a little underrated there.
I think he's underrated, but the problem is he went from Matt Stafford to I'll get into this with mine, but yeah, I agree.
Noah Fant at 9. Hunter Henry at 8. Dallas Goedert at 7. Most of these players I'll be talking about, so I'm not going to elaborate too much. Dallas Goedert at 7. Mike Gesicki at 6. Kyle Pitts at 5. Mark Andrews at 4. George Kittle at 3. Pause there for George Kittle at 3.
No, I know we agree. So
Darren Waller at 2, and Travis Kelce at 1.
I will tell you that is the same 10 as mine.
Joseph Jefferson said, "There's no crying in baseball."
There's definitely no crying in video game bracket,
bro. There's no crying in baseball.
No.
That is such a good line. Tom Hanks played that role perfectly.
It is. I will tell you this, man. It's that movie doesn't get enough credit in regards to baseball movies.
100%. Agreed with you.
It's a top 3 or 4 baseball movie ever, and I will put it ahead of a lot of other movies that people will argue to the death about, and League of Their Own is better.
League of Their Own is amazing. But that's Cottrell's list. He's got Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, and George Kittle as his top 3. Okay. So we're getting ours. We'll do our 10 through 1 thing like we normally do. So here he goes. Kittle is a better tight end, but I think Waller has the better season. Time will tell.
Who said that?
That's Cottrell.
All right, so that's his excuse. Let's roll with that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right, so as usual, I give a little prefix for my people that didn't make the list. So you guys get a preview of 4 tight ends that could be on somebody else's list that didn't make my list.
You did 4?
I have 4.
I have 2, but it's fine.
It's fine. So
I have a feeling one of ours is going to match.
Tim Todd, there's no crying in video games brackets, but there's definitely bad decisions. Solid call, sir.
Who said that?
Tim Todd.
Oh.
He's the man. Awesome guy. Okay, so number 14 for me. Number 14, like the 4th guy off the list, was Noah Fant. I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why 14.
That one stings.
I'll tell you why. Because what has he done?
Talking about bad decisions.
I'm so tired of people talking about Noah Fant. Noah Fant is nothing but flashes. Then he gets hurt. His quarterback stinks. Then he doesn't play. Wow. Noah Fant is not that good, guys. I'm sorry.
Noah Fant only have 40 catches one year, 62 another year, and averages 12.1 yards a reception.
That sounds pretty pedestrian.
In 2 years?
Yes. And how many games has he played?
He's played all but one. 31.
He's played 31 games, and he was riddled with an ankle injury and then a hamstring injury to he got pulled from like 5 of those games. I'm telling you, Noah Fant playing 31
he just said he
games.
missed 1 game.
Yeah, but he was riddled with injuries through those games.
Okay.
Noah Fant was questionable every week last year.
Terrible quarterback play. All right, so
less than 550 yards in his 2 years.
Okay.
That's
Gronk is my 13. Gronk's probably one of
fair.
the greatest tight ends ever, but
I don't have him on my list.
The highest paid tight end in the NFL is my number 12. That's Austin Hooper. Highest paid NFL tight end. Not on the top 10 list. And then last year's number 3 on everyone's list is my number 11, and that's my honorable mention. It's Zach Ertz. He was number 3 everywhere before last season. So he was being drafted in like the 3rd round in fantasy leagues. Guy had 114 receptions 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's why.
Yeah, just missed my list. So my number 10, I think he's going to benefit from a way better situation at quarterback. I think he's going to benefit from a guy that notably gets his tight ends involved, a very smart quarterback, a Harvard-based quarterback, is Logan Thomas. He's my number 10 from the Washington football team.
You love the Washington football team.
Yes,
I do.
he does.
I'm a closet closet Washington football team and Arizona Cardinals fan.
I don't even have him in my top 20.
That's fine.
Whoa.
You don't have to.
Sir.
Yeah, that's a little wild, but that's all right.
You'll see my top 10 and then you'll say
there are
that's
people
wild
that can't even hold their helmet in the top 20.
Yeah.
All right, give me your two that missed the list.
So number 12 for me, and this is more of a strictly a stats thing, just because of who he plays with. I have Tunyon at number 12. He's just going to put up.
He was hard not to put on mine. Oh my gosh.
Again, if you're going down, if you're going down these guys based on skill and everything else, while I do think he's better than people give him credit for, he's not a top 10 tight end. He benefits greatly from playing.
You want a Buddy Ryan line?
What?
Oh, he does catch touchdown passes.
I mean, well, it's kind
yeah,
of.
I'm kidding.
I mean, that's important. My number 11 is Logan Thomas. I think he's going to have a good year. I think he's going to have a breakout year. I think he's going to do very well with Fitzpatrick. With all the other weapons they've added around him now. To Gene's point, Fitzpatrick loves his tight ends. First check down, usually a tight end. I think his number is going to go through the roof this year. So I definitely think he's on this list next year. Number 10 for me is Hunter Henry from New England. I think the more Mac Jones plays, probably the better his numbers become. If he has Cam, I don't trust Cam to get him the ball. He throws the ball on the ground, 10 feet over his head, whatever. Very talented kid. He's another one.
I need to have this debate right now.
No, we don't.
Almost.
No,
I need it.
I'll
the
just
biggest Cam Newton fan of all
I'll
time right here.
Pull up 50 video clips.
I am not, but I'm just saying that Cam Newton's on-target percentage last year was number 5 in the league.
That's easy to do when you throw the ball 4 yards at a time.
Oh, that was quick. That was a quick one.
Number 10.
Just waiting for that one.
Hunter Henry, very talented kid. He's another one. He's kind of always banged up, though. He's hurt. He got hurt yesterday, actually, or in the game. He's going to be out a couple weeks. But he was, again, when he's on the field, he's very productive. Very good route runner. Pretty quick for a bigger kid. I like him. I like him a lot. If he stays healthy, Cam, most likely Mac Jones, because I think he's going to be the starter. We'll get him the ball. I think I'll have a good year.
Okay. Who's your number 10?
Honorable mentions, Hunter Henry on my list.
So you have no faith in Cam either, see? That's what I need to know right there.
You'll see on my list if I have faith.
He has another.
If you put the other, oh my God.
Go ahead.
And Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert. Whoa.
Top what?
Dallas Goedert's not your top 10?
No.
Do you do drugs?
No, but
I'm
you're going to think I do after my list.
I mean,
oh my God.
I mean, you just left no fan out of yours. I mean, that's not much
No
better.
fan stinks.
Oh my God.
Zach Ertz is my number 10. Let's just get it out the way.
So you have the number 2 Eagles tight end on the
He
list
was
over
hurt.
number 1. He's
was
listed
hurt
as
for
number
5
2 on the
games.
depth chart. The Eagles franchise, who's paying him a ton more money, has said, "Listen, you're going to be a second. He might get cut, bro."
He's not going to get cut.
He's
Bro,
going to
you
get
watch.
traded.
He's actually had a very good training camp from every
gonna
single
get,
person.
He's going to get
reported on
traded,
it.
Gene.
You also got to remember they run 2 tight end sets. Well, they
I
used
agree.
to with
Different team.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens this
This
year.
dude had over 700 yards receiving for 6 straight seasons up until last year. 700 yards or more. I can't ignore that just because he
Fair.
got hurt for 5 games.
This is a predictions list, though. It's not a lifetime achievement award.
Well, I mean,
This is my top.
I don't disagree,
I get it,
but I mean,
My top 10 tight ends. If he gets traded, he's going to go somewhere and do well.
I hear it. I hear it. I feel it.
I mean, I hope we don't, but I mean, I don't know if the Eagles' offense can play any worse than it did last year.
It's almost impossible.
Almost.
I can't say that he won't be top 10 because if he gets traded somewhere like the Jaguars or something, they're going to utilize him.
Dude, they got Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow, bro.
All right, so what we do is we run it back. It's like a snake. So you give me your number 9 now.
My number 9, Jonnu Smith.
See, this is what I mean.
Bro.
Jonnu Smith. The dude had 8 touchdowns last year.
And what? 12 catches?
If he stays out, he had 41 catches. If he stays healthy, he's a beast. And he does something a lot of these tight ends probably on this whole list don't do well.
Yeah, start.
And that's block. Jonnu Smith blocks.
This kind of goes to Gene's point. He's not even the number 1 tight end on that team.
He's got number 2 tight ends, 10 and 9. That's what he has.
Hey, this is my top 10.
I get, bro. Listen, we're gonna bust balls. This is not. Listen, East Coast Grind is really nice, really nice.
And you guys are all PC.
Friendly. We're not PC here.
I get it. I get it.
This is the shit talk station.
You guys say it when I tune in too. But
I love it.
Number 9 is Jonnu Smith. I'm
all
sticking
love,
to it,
sir.
They in Tennessee, they don't pass the ball a lot to their tight ends. It's the Derrick Henry show. Everybody knows that. Ryan Tannehill is a very good quarterback as well. The only thing with Jonnu Smith is he has some injury issues that he always plays with. But what you're going to see, like with my top 3 quarterback or top 5 tight ends on this list, he blocks. If we're talking about complete packages, I'm not putting a tight end that doesn't block in my top 10.
You just did. Zach Ertz is in your top 10. Doesn't block at all.
Facts.
At all.
I mean, you technically you're right.
Okay, just
but
checking.
On the other side of that too is he puts up big numbers when he catches the ball.
He does, but that's fine. I get it. I get your point.
But somebody at
your
number
list, but you put
Gene's
somebody at number
poking
9
holes in the boat over there.
You're talking
bro.
about
No.
You're talking about no yak Zach that doesn't block.
But
he's got great hands.
But check
no
it out.
yak Zach is not on my list.
Check it out, Gene. He puts a lot of yards on the plate.
He does.
But Jonnu Smith is half blocker, half catcher.
Charles taking shots. Bateman finishes the year with more catches than Jonnu. That's solid.
Cottrell has been sitting on that all day.
Give me your 9.
Who's hurt though, Cottrell?
He is hurt. Not for weeks, Bateman.
Yeah, groin.
Not a good injury either for a wide receiver.
No, it's not.
They normally stay with you all year.
Yep. Number
Hashtag
9.
no offense. I'm just kidding.
Hashtag number 9. No fan. That's who I have. Number 9.
I love it. Yo, listen, that couldn't have worked out better.
Yep.
No fan. I think he's high upside. I think he's probably. I mean, if he gets any kind of good quarterback play, which I don't have any confidence in because they decided not to draft Justin Fields.
They said they're naming no number 1 till week 1 anyways.
Because they don't have a number 1, so they're going to pick
but
out
all their
a
bags in that eggs in that Aaron Rodgers basket didn't pan out.
Nope. That's why you should have took Justin Fields when he was sitting there. You even have to trade up to get him. He fell to you. It was literally like freaking draft day.
Yep.
And he ended up being Jeff Carson from Jacksonville and just booted the fucking thing. No fan for me. Again, healthy, young kid, great athlete. I disagree with Gene. I think he has a ton of upside. I think quarterback play is definitely going to hold him down. I think he's going to get a lot of targets with them running the 3 wide receivers. He's going to get a lot of one-on-one coverage with kids. He's just a better athlete then. I like him. I think he's higher on this list next year. I'm a big Noah fan guy.
That's fair. My number 9 is T.J. Hawkinson. My number 9 is T.J. Hawkinson for a couple of reasons. I think T.J. Hawkinson has all the ability to be a very, very good tight end. He took a downgrade in quarterback play, and I think their offense is going to be dreadful. T.J. Hawkinson, to me, it has the talent. He's like another tight end that's coming up soon, has the talent to be an elite tight end. It's just I think he needs the right system, the right quarterback. Now, granted, Jared Goff does throw a lot to his tight ends.
Tyler Higbee.
3-touchdown game last year versus the Eagles. But
the difference is Detroit doesn't have Kupp and Woods on the outside either to draw coverage away.
Oh, they got studs on the outside, right? Galladay's still there, right? Marvin Jones?
No.
They're all gone.
No, they're all gone?
Galladay's on the Giants. Marvin Jones on the Jaguars.
I know.
That was our host sarcasm.
Yeah. All right, so my number 8.
Fed into it.
Yeah, thank you. My number 8 is Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki does everything right, but I think that now this is my point because this is I'm very, very low on Tua as a quarterback because I think Tua stinks. I think Mike Gesicki suffers because of it. Mike Gesicki blocks. Mike Gesicki has great hands. Mike Gesicki does everything right at the tight end position. I think Tua stinks. I think Tua is Marcus Mariota. I think that's what he'll be his entire career.
I don't know if he's even that good.
That's fair, but my point being is
I get
like
it.
that type of hype, that type of guy, like great character guy, great athlete, all this stuff, but he stinks.
I think you're aiming too low on Tua so far.
Who else? I mean, it sounds like everything that everybody says about Jalen Hurts, but that's a different.
So that's
discussion
my
for a
number 8.
different
Who's
day.
your number 8, Shally?
My number 8 is a guy you were just talking about, and I have a number 8 for all the reasons that you had him at 9. T.J. Hawkinsack.
Hawkinsack. He's got a big
Hawkinsack, huge sack. He's one of those kids I hope gets out of Detroit. I hope when his contract's up, he doesn't fall in love with that city or they're probably gonna try to overpay him. I hope he gets out, and I hope he goes to a team that has a quarterback that can play football. Because again, I think he's all the talent in the world to be a top 5 or 6 guy in the league. All the physical attributes, smart kid, smart player. I just want him to get out of Detroit, but him being in Detroit is why he is where he is on my list.
Couple things on the wire line. PD makes a very good point. Dan Campbell is going to make sure that tight end position is going to eat all year. Dan Campbell's their head coach over in Detroit. I get it. Charles getting yelled at on the wire line.
Uh-oh. By who?
Alana Simpson. So I thought your ass was on vacation. You got more messages on here. So Cottrell's getting yelled at on the wire line.
Cottrell's in trouble.
So I'm sorry, Cottrell, but thank you for tuning in. All right, so number 8, Dante.
Noah. Oh my gosh. Number 8 is Noah Fant, the TJ Hawkinson's teammate from Iowa.
I like it. It's fine.
All right, so
I mean, listen, that's where Noah Fant should be on most people's list. 7, 8, 9. I get it. I'm just lower on him than most people are. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
Gene has him at like 22. That's fine.
14.
Noah Fant
should probably have him at 13. Gronk, I shouldn't have that high. Sorry.
Noah Fant's awesome. I mean, he's played 31 games out of 32 that he's played in his whole career, regardless of his little nagging injuries here or there. But he's a sure hands receiver. He blocks when he needs to. He's a decent tight end. I think.
Can't leave Iowa without blocking.
Facts. True story.
I mean,
fact.
True.
That's what him and TJ Hawkinson do really well, more than catch the ball. But yeah, Noah Fant is number 8 on my list.
Give me your number 7.
Number 7, Mike Gesicki.
It's fair.
Almost the same reasons that I said for Noah Fant is Mike Gesicki is just, he's on a team that is still trying to figure out its identity, and I think they're going to get it right this year. I'm a little higher on, of course, from our predictions, I'm a little higher on their team than most people.
It's fair.
I think their team.
I love their coach. I love the culture.
I think they're going to be a good team.
In spite of Tua.
Yeah, I think if anything holds them back, it's going to be Tua.
And I think the total opposite. I think this is the year where he doesn't have that much pressure on him to do well.
He has all the pressure in the world on him on that team. They have a stout defense with weapons around them. If they don't succeed, it's because of Tua. They're not going to succeed because Jalen Waddle doesn't have a good year. Like, he's got to get all those guys the ball.
That'll be helpful for him, Jalen Waddle, though.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Jalen Waddle.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Jalen Waddle is going to give him the confidence. Him not competing with Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to give him more confidence. I think it's more pressure to go in there and start at quarterback when you know that you have another starting quarterback that's a veteran that could take your job at any point.
Well, exact the veteran part, but i.e. Carson Wentz.
But Mike Gesicki, he's your all-around good tight end that can do pretty much anything that you need him to. He's not going to put up crazy numbers this year, I don't think, but that running game is going to be pretty solid behind him. So, number 7. Mike
Follow.
Gesicki.
Give me your number 7, Shally.
I have Gesicki as well. I'm very high on him. I literally have him 7 because I don't know if I can put him above anybody else because of his quarterback situation. He's another one. I think if he's on a different team with a different quarterback, I think he's a top 5 kid. He made some great catches last year. Super athletic, gets down the field very easily. He's just a smart player. He's always open in zone. He's going to be a very important piece for Tua. Because again, I don't think Tua's going to sit there and check down and go through progressions. I think he's going to check one person and then look to dump the ball to him. So fantasy-wise, I think he's probably higher on this list. But actual on-the-field play, I have him at 7. But I like him more than that. I wish I could put him higher because I would if I could.
I have somebody at 7 that Dante doesn't have on his list, and you have a little bit lower. I really like this guy. Hunter Henry. I'm a huge fan of Hunter Henry. I have kind of a little bit of man crush on him since he tore his ACL in preseason, fought his ass off to get back to the playoff game.
Yep.
You don't see players do that. You don't see players actually put in that time.
And he played well.
I love Hunter Henry. I think that Mac Jones is going to start sooner rather than later. Me and Dante disagree on this. I think Mac Jones will be their starter. I said by week 1.
Baby.
I really think that if it's not week 1, it'll be early in the season. And I think that with Mac Jones, he's going to look for that safety net. And that safety net's going to be the short-handed wide receiver that lines up the tight end position named Hunter Henry. That's my 7. My number 6 is a rookie. Guy has not caught a pass in the NFL, but that's how athletically freakish this guy is. Kyle Pitts is my number 6. Kyle Pitts he's a stud. And, you know, I would like to even have him higher because I think he's going to be the best tight end this game's seen in the next 10 years. I think he's going to be absolutely astronomically amazing. But you got to show me something for me to get to crack my top 5. That's why I have him 6. But no slight against Kyle Pitts. I watched him dominated Florida. Guy lost everybody. So Kyle Pitts is my 6. Give me your 6.
Number 6, I have Dallas Goedert. I do think I think he's going to be the number 1 tight end on this team this year. I think you started to see that the last year or so start to take place. I do think if Zach stays here, that could hamper him a little bit because I do think Jalen's going to throw the ball to both of them. Again, young quarterback. They love tight ends as safety valves, little dump downs, get the ball out of their hands, don't take sacks, play it safe, so forth and so on. But I think Goddard is going to be the clear-cut number 1 this year. I struggled where you put him. I struggled where to put Kyle Pitts on this list because, like you said, he hasn't played it down yet. So, but I have Goddard at 6. I think I'll have a great year. I really like him. He's definitely one of those guys that fits the personality of the city, which I love.
I'll talk about him a little bit more soon.
And he's a little bit he's a better yak guy. So
number 6, and then roll into your number 5.
Number 6 is Mark Andrews for me.
Okay, Mark Andrews solid.
I mean,
I think a little low actually, but I think you're doing next as quarterback.
That's exactly right. But I can also say Mark Andrews is going to be the number 1 receiver on the team too, just like he has been.
That's fair.
Oh, your Bateman hate.
I don't hate Bateman. It just is what it is. That's how John Harbaugh has always played. And if you look at the history of that team, from Todd Heap to Mark Andrews right now, they've always been the safety net. I mean, he's put up impressive numbers over the years, but that's because Lamar Jackson loves to throw to Mark Andrews. I don't think he does anything perfectly or even remotely awesome. I mean, to have 88 targets and you only catch 58 of them last year, it
means 30 were off target because Mark Andrews got some hands of blue.
Hands.
Yeah, and I mean, as a tight end, he has 4 fumbles in the last 2 years, which is not good. And I also look at that stat too. 'Cause you're supposed to be shorthanded in those type of situations. You're not supposed to be fumbling the ball all that much. So you're probably going to see that trend, and me bring that up with some other tight ends, and you either going to agree or disagree. But Mark Andrews, that's why he's number 6 to me.
Let me ask you a question real quick because I feel like me and Gene are usually like pretty close on these things, especially quarterback wise. I feel like you ranked him lower because of Lamar, but then you're high on Cam. So Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, and Tua in order, you would take them.
Are we talking about right now? Or
yeah, for one
season.
Right now, 1 season. This season.
They were all free agents. You have a great team, and all you need is a quarterback. Which one of the 3 of those are you signing?
Cam Newton, number 1.
He's 5th. 5th out of those 3.
Yeah, Cam Newton, number 1. I'll take Lamar, number 2, and Tua, number 3, just because I haven't seen him in a full season.
Cam's 5. Tua is 6. Out of those 3.
I was actually hoping you were to say Tua too, because then we would have been able to hear Cottrell yell from Vegas.
He just yelled Dante.
Did he?
I swear, right on our line. They're like,
and
give me your 5.
And if I'm right this year, we'll see.
We were right about Jacob Eason, huh?
No, that's a low blow. That's a low blow, bro.
Give me your 5.
That's a low blow.
Austin Hooper is my number 5.
Wow.
I mean, he's the highest paid tight end.
He is.
Austin
not
Hooper.
Enough footballs to go around that team.
Yeah, Austin Hooper's a very good tight end. You're absolutely correct about that. That's the issue right there.
And you have OBJ back.
And he blocks. He blocks. Austin Hooper's a great blocker.
That's the thing, is what Shalley said. He's only hindered by the
my
talent
number 5,
that's
Lane
around
Johnson.
him.
I'm kidding.
But he needs to get a lot of credit for the blocking that he does. And what did I tell you is going to be the trend?
He doesn't fumble.
This dude has not fumbled in his career.
I will give you credit for that. He is another reason, along with that great offensive line they have, which makes it very easy for them to run the ball. And they have 2 great running backs. But I mean, he is a part of that. So I mean, that is a good point.
All right, give me your 5, Shall. We got to move.
Number 5, I have Kyle Pitts. again, I struggled 4 through 6 where to go here.
It's exactly where he belongs. I agree.
I'm not going to get too in depth on this. I mean, he's a local kid. He literally went to high school 100 feet from where I live. I think he's going to be great. We said it when we were doing our draft show. I think if there's one can't miss guy in this draft, it was him. I don't think there's any chance he's a bust. I think he's everything everybody thinks he's going to be, but he just hasn't played yet. I can't put him over some of these guys that are legit, either best ever, maybe in their position, and sure as hell first ballot Hall of Famers. I just can't do that yet.
That's why I can't even put him on my list, just because of that reason.
It's fair. It's a prediction list, though, but I get it. Number 5 for me is a guy walking into middle of his prime, Dallas Goedert. I have Dallas Goedert having a huge year. I think he's going to be Jalen Hurts' safety net the entire season. I really think that Zach Ertz is either traded or cut. If he is on the roster, I feel like that he will be a non-factor. Nothing against Zach. I just think that Dallas Goedert is the future they want to build around, and I think that the game plan will be centered around this man. He blocks. He gets yards after catch. He has very, very good hands, and he's a great route runner for a tight end. So I have Dallas Goedert 5. My number 4, who I guess I wish I could put in the top 3 because he's a stud, is Mark Andrews. Absolute stud. Guy does everything right at the tight end position, except he fumbled twice, right? Or 4 times?
4 times.
4 times he fumbled. But other than that, Mark Andrews is obviously there for Lamar Jackson. I feel like they play a lot of rain games. Am I like the only one that feels like that Baltimore plays in the most rain games in all football?
It is weird. It seems like every time they're on TV, it's like cloudy and
every time they're in M&T, it seems like that.
Yeah, like I feel like it rains every time.
We played in that stadium in high school. Same thing. Right.
Yeah. So he's my number 4. Give me your number 4, Shally.
I have Andrews at number 4. I think he's a little bit of a step below the top 3 guys. And he's really come on the last couple of years. I mean, he's again, he doesn't do anything bad, and he's good at everything. He's been a huge safety valve for Lamar Jackson. I think he'll have another huge year this year. And I like him. He's a gritty. He seems like a very
gritty, like the Flyers.
No,
I'm kidding.
But he seems like a tough guy, and he seems like one of those guys that's probably a leader in the locker room. And again, he blocks. So he's a very well-rounded tight end. So he's number 4 for me.
So we should all have the same top 3, right?
I mean, me and you probably do.
Who's your number 4?
My number 4 is Darren Waller.
Oh, so that are you in the top 3 that we don't?
No, I know already.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I know already.
Darren Waller's going to have a down year this year, just because Henry Ruggs and a couple of those other guys are going to step up to the plate. I don't think he is an elite blocker by any means. And that's specifically why I put him in number 4. And my number 3, this is on kind of a women.
Is this gonna be the bad one?
Yeah, this is the bad one in your guys' eyes. But
Dante, I need you to understand we are ball busters. We love you. I don't want you to take it personal. I can see it. Like I'm just ball busters.
I get it, but I see what I see when I watch these guys.
And you watch a ton of football. So anybody question his acumen is crazy. The guy watch more football than probably anybody.
On Dante's hot take scale, where are we? 1 to 10 on this?
8.
Oh, all right. We're saying Lawrence is a bust is 10. This is 8.
Well, Lawrence is a bust isn't 10.
What's 10?
Jacob Eason's going to take Carson Wentz's job.
That's not worse than Trevor Lawrence.
I think it is. He already lost the job to Sam Ellinger.
All right, let's do this. I'm ready.
Give me number 3.
I'm mentally prepared now.
TJ Hawkinson is my number 3.
That's not awful.
This thing needs more batteries.
I thought it was going to be worse.
Nah, TJ Hawkinson is only hindered by the team that he's on. Because if he was on any other team, like I said, his stats don't prove how good he actually is.
I agree.
He's an elite blocker. I'm not going to put him over Travis Kelce.
D. Godfrey wants to know, why is Waller going to have a bad year or down year?
Because of the receivers that are on his team that are going to step up this year, and they're going to be running the ball hard, which he doesn't. So what they got to understand is he doesn't block.
They ran the ball hard last year. They
Yeah.
have better receivers last year than they have this year.
True.
Josh Jacobs ran the ball like 1,000 times last year,
and Darren Walsh had an amazing year.
averaged like 3.8 yards a carry.
And Darren Walsh had an amazing year.
And they're going to do the same thing
And
this
he's
year.
not a blocker.
And the difference between this year is they replaced Nelson Aguilar with John Brown.
Yeah.
No difference.
Henry Ruggs didn't have that crazy amazing year like everybody thought he was going to.
I don't
as
think
well.
he's ever going to have that crazy amazing year.
I think he's going to have a good year this year.
I mean, he's fast.
But then again,
is he closer to seriously? I'm not trying to be smart ass. Is he closer to Tyreek Hill, like everyone was comparing him?
No.
Or is he closer to no? Well, I'm going to give you two ends of the spectrum because you have to give it an answer. I guarantee you the other end's going to be a little weirdo, right? Is he closer to Tyreek Hill, or is he closer to John Ross?
Closer to John Ross.
Because that's what they're like. That's the floor and ceiling for Henry Ruggs.
I think he's better than Ross, but I'm
asking who's closer to. He's got to be better than Ross.
He's closer to Ross, of course, just because of the size and the stature that John Ross had and the speed. But he's got better hands. He's in between both. He's the perfect in between both of those two comparisons. But to the point for the people on the wireline, when you talk about top 10 tight ends, they got to be able to block. I'm not looking at the stat sheet. TJ Hawkinson is an elite blocker, and he doesn't get credit for it. Darren Waller does not block.
They don't use him in that type system, though. I mean, it's kind of really. I mean,
but that's like saying that any team that runs the ball doesn't need a good blocking tight end.
No, some do more than others, but again, I mean,
some use them for matchup nightmares.
Yeah,
though.
like Kyle Pitts is not going to block in Atlanta. That's not what they're going to use him for.
But wouldn't you agree that if he was an elite blocker, it would help his running back out a lot?
100%. I agree with you.
Yeah.
First of all,
Nobody's
I think
arguing
blocking.
that.
I think blocking is a big part of being a tight end.
Yeah.
And I understand that you take a lot of value in a tight end that can block. I follow that completely. But like where I think that me and you are just a little off is I think blocking is maybe 15% of what a tight end's job is. You think it's closer to 40. Is that accurate?
I think it's closer to 50.
Okay. I think that's
45 to 50% of your plays are running plays.
I would say up until 10 years ago,
Yeah.
I would agree with you.
I agree with you 10 years ago. Like this league is a passing league.
It depends on the offense. Like
Okay.
like Shelly was saying, it does.
So in Detroit, with Kermit the Frog at running back, DeAndre Swift, who dropped a touchdown start to the year last year, you think running the ball is going to be more important than them being down 14 at halftime, trying to come back? That's my point. I get your idea. Like, dude, trust me, blocking is very important. But if I'm on the Rams or I'm on the Packers or I'm on the Buccaneers, blocking's more important. I agree with you.
But if you
Not more
flip-flop
important,
Darren
but
Waller and TJ Hawkinson, and TJ Hawkinson can catch as good as Darren Waller, I don't care what anybody says, a dude can catch the ball as well. Do you think Josh Jacobs will have a better year with Darren Waller or TJ Hawkinson?
Josh Jacobs had a better year with TJ Hawkinson.
That's my point.
It's a fair point.
But
I don't
that's the
think
reason
TJ
why I
Hawkinson will
flip-flop
have
him.
anywhere close to a year that Darren Waller would receiving with Derek Carr. And I don't think
Agreed.
TJ Hawkinson is as good a receiver as Darren Waller's.
I think the benchmark for a good tight end is 500, 600 yards catching.
And Darren Waller had 11.
TJ Hawkinson had 600.
How many had 11? Was it close?
I think he went over 1,000.
Who?
Darren Waller.
Darren Waller had.
Or he's not. He
It
was
was
close.
literally a guess.
1196.
Guys, I need a friggin' show. Oh, I have one. Give me your number 3, Jolly.
My number 3 is. Waller's number 3 for me.
Waller's 3.
Yeah.
Waller's 3 for me also. My number 2, and this is tough because the top 2 are good. You can argue either way.
Like Legos. Man.
Correct. The top 2 are interchangeable. But going into last season, everybody's no doubt about it. Number 1 going into last season was George Kittle. I can't penalize the guy getting hurt one time. The guy does everything right. He can line up against the number 1 cornerback and win. His yards after tackle are unbelievable. He can block. He's a great dude. The guy's unbelievable. I'm going Travis Kelce at 2.
Ooh.
And obviously I'll go George Kittle at 1. I'll give you my top 2 like that, and then we give you your 2 and 1, and we'll just do it that way because everybody's 2 and 1 should be the same, right?
I'm reversed. I have Kittle 2 and I have Kelsey 1.
And that's fair. It's
Yeah,
fair.
I mean, you
Kelce
can't-
had an unbelievable year receiving the ball. I think Kittle deals with a little bit more quarterback problems. Obviously, Mahomes is a little bit better, but he also has a little bit less weapons around him, so he's obviously the primary focus.
It's the weird thing where I don't want to punish people for getting hurt, but then I don't want to punish somebody for being on the field either. And
That's
I
a
think
fair point.
I just think Kelsey obviously had a better year last year because Kittle was hurt, but I think Kittle's maybe a little bit of the better blocker. I do think
A little bit?
I think. Well, they don't ask him to block. They don't ask Kelsey to block a lot either. They run those crazy.
That's fair.
Crazy sets.
He's not a little bit better blocker.
Well, again, but I mean, if they start lining up in those packages, I don't know what you're getting out of Kelsey. I'm saying I don't know how bad he is. I think.
Hold on. D. Godfrey, something smoking the biggest crack pipe by putting Kittle 2 and or Kittle 1 and Travis 2. I don't know what you're watching. Did you not watch George Kittle in 2019?
Hey, let me.
God, sorry.
I got George Kittle number 1. Like Travis Kelce number 2. Like you run into an offense that throws the ball all the time, but I can tell you Travis Kittle's been exposed Travis Kittle. Travis Kelce's been exposed by several nickelbacks and safeties over the years too. When he's open, he's good. George Kittle, go watch the tape. He gets compliments from anybody that he lines up against, and he generally beats them. Then again, with the same thing I've been saying up to this point, I don't care about your receiving numbers. If you can get 600-700 yards, that's the benchmark. This dude is the best blocking tight end in the league, and those running backs, Raheem Mostert is one of the most underrated running backs out there.
He just needs to stay on the field.
He's another one.
I mean, and I agree with D. Godfrey. I don't think Travis Kelce was exposed by nickelbacks. But with that being said, I agree with you. The more complete player is George Kittle.
Nah, he wasn't a cornerback, but he was a safety. Antoine Whitfield exposed him during the Super Bowl.
That has a lot more to do with left tackle, right tackle, man. Come on, that's a little bit. That's a little.
It don't matter when you're running routes.
Yeah, but when you have 2 seconds to run around,
he had 10 catches for 118 yards. That's exposed. I would love my tight end to get exposed for 10 catches, 118 yards.
You're right about the numbers, but I'm saying when he was going out there with the safety in the middle,
he didn't have time to get into his routes either, man.
That was the problem.
Yeah, I mean, literally Mahomes. If you look, I do it again. I mean,
they had Andre Dillard at left tackle last year. By the way, he stinks. Sorry, he's hurt. Oh God, he stinks.
I mean, he's not going to start. Jordan's going to start. So,
but it's another first show. All right, another show.
Yeah, another show.
Guys, that's our tight end list. Next week, wide receivers, the divas of the group. Control will be back for that. Dante will obviously put his picks on the wire line as he always does. And we love arguing with him because he's great. And guys, just to be clear at home, you don't listen to East Coast Gridiron. Dante has a ton of strong facts to back up all his opinions. The guy watches more football than almost anybody I know. So check him out tomorrow night, 6:30, East Coast Gridiron Podcast.
Actually, we're doing it Friday this week because I'm going to the Eagles game tomorrow night. So.
See that? He's going. That's how much football he watches.
Yeah.
He's going to preseason games. And if you look, the picture's up on the page, on the screen. Check it out. Dante's the man.
Appreciate it, Toxic Mike. Look at him.
Okay.
Glad you just work for your show.
So we got to get into like 1.5 more topics. The fighting Phils have been absolutely in fuego. Now, the question that I'm going to ask Mr. Shawcross, what's the score tonight?
They're losing 3-2 top 5 right now. They got delayed by rain for a while, so they're behind. Phillies were actually smart. They scratched Gibson because they knew they were going to get delayed by rain, so they started Brogdon tonight. So gives everybody an extra day of rest. They'll push Gibson back. So I would assume – I don't think he's going to pitch tomorrow, so I think what they're going to do is they're going to hold him off, and then next series they're going to go Gibson, Wheeler, Nola. So because Nola will be fresh as well because he only pitched, 5 innings last night? 4 innings last night. So that was a smart move.
I thought they were pitching Gibson after the rain delay. They're not?
Well, I mean, I could check it. I thought
they sent him out to the bullpen to pitch him after the rain delay. I could be wrong.
I'm looking at it now. You could be right. I was told that they were just going to push him completely. No, he's pitching now.
Yeah, they were pitching him after the rain delay. So
he's actually giving up all the runs.
So here's my question for you, Shally.
Mm-hmm.
9-game winning streaks in baseball are nothing to sneeze about.
Nope.
I'm not going to take anything away from 9-game winning streak. Is it fool's gold? And the reason I'm asking is it fool's gold is it's the Nationals with COVID protocols, the Mets who are literally in the biggest tailspin. Is it fool's gold?
Yeah, I mean, but the Mets are still the Mets. I mean, it's I'm not going to say it's fool's gold. I'm not going to go 180 degrees the other way, though, and say we're going to, the National League Championship Series now either. I'm not doing that, which some people want to go do. We have to stay healthy, and then we have to get consistent. Wheeler needs to keep doing what he's doing. Gibson needs to do, Gibson needs to be a very good number 3, and then we need old Aaron Nola. We need Aaron Nola that we got last night.
Great response.
If you do all that and they continue to hit, they'll win the division. The way it would shake out now, we would get Milwaukee in the first round. I think they can win that series. I don't think they go past that. I will take the pitching staffs are very comparable, and I'll take our lineup over Milwaukee's lineup all day. I think it scares me with that is Milwaukee's a very good bullpen. We don't. But, I mean, listen, they're capable. I mean, you still got a lot of baseball left. A lot.
I agree. You have a month and a half left.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's 50 games or 45 games, somewhere around there.
Don said it perfectly. Don said strength of schedule makes a difference. I agree with you, Don.
It does, but they played one of the hardest ones in the first half. I mean, you're all playing the same teams.
Agreed.
So, I mean, we played them all in the first half. We have an easy second half.
I've said before the season started that I think the Philadelphia Phillies will go 82-80. 162-game season. I think they'll go 82-80. I still think they're going to go 82-80. I think now if they go 84-78, I think that's because of the Mets tailspin. Like, I think that the extra 2 games is because the Mets are literally in a tailspin.
I think I picked 85 on our previous shows. It was either 84, 85, and I think that's probably what they're on track for. I mean, obviously, if you would have asked me a month and a half ago if I thought they were getting there, I would have told you no.
That's fair. You have them 85.
I want to say when we did this, I picked 84, 85. I'd have to go back and watch it, but I'm pretty sure that's where I was. I think they're going to win the division. I do. I mean, Washington's done. They traded everybody.
Yep. The Mets are in a tailspin.
Mets are tailspin.
And the best player on the Braves is out, but yet they're still playing good baseball.
Braves made a couple decent, like, under-the-radar moves. I mean, they're
Josh Down, or not Josh Down, lefty Jock Peterson.
Jock Peterson, they got Solar. I mean, they're going to be all right. I mean, they're going to hit. I mean, their problem is their pitching is just underperforming at, like, an epic level, which would, going into the year, you would have said they're starting pitching. And obviously their lineup with Acuna and Freeman and all those guys are going to be their strengths, and their starting pitching has absolutely been a weakness. Again, you take the top 3 of them, you get Eflin back. It's a tough top. It's a good top 4. I mean, Wheeler's probably going to win the Cy Young. So,
they're talking about that today. They said that Gene Segura has a chance to win a batting title. Bryce Harper has a chance to win MVP, and Wheeler has a chance to win Cy Young.
Wheeler is the favorite now to win. I mean, you're again the Mets. I think the Mets are going to be too far out of it. You might not see DeGrom again this year. There's no way they're gonna pitch him again. Bring him back. Correct. If they're out of it, he is not pitching this year. And then they're not going to bring Thor back either. They're going to let them both rest, get healthy for next year.
Talk about epic collapse, man.
It's the Mets. I mean, listen, as bad as
you know what Mets stands for, right?
What?
My entire team sucks.
Stinks. Fine. Biggest thing with them is, I mean, they've battled health stuff too, and I hate to say it, one of my favorite players is absolutely shit the bed. Frankie's had a terrible year, sitting 215. That plays into it. I mean, it's if they get normal Frankie out of him, he's easily worth 3 or 4 wins by himself, and he's not played well.
I'll tell you right now, next year's shortstop list, I'm going to have Tatis over Frankie.
Yeah, I mean, he's another one that can't stay on the field. They're talking about bringing him back to outfield, and people forget that's where he used to play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where he was a prospect at. So
I actually think that if he plays in outfield, it will be better for his career.
Agreed. It's a less physical position.
100%. Shortstops dive all over the place, use their arms a lot, weirder angles.
And he plays 110 miles an hour. Like, he doesn't slow down. So, I mean, he's constantly going to get hurt. And they have guys that can play it. I don't know if you saw the play Jake Cronenworth made the other night. It might be the best play of the year so far. So, they have the depth there. I mean, I don't know why you just wouldn't play him in the outfield. And, again, for as many highlight reels plays as he makes, he throws the ball all over the goddamn field.
He does.
All over the field. He's leading shortstops in errors, and he's missed 20 games. I mean, they'd be better off making him a center fielder or something like that, which is what I think you're going to see.
Fair point. Dante, any Phillies takes? I don't know if you're like a huge Phillies guy or not.
I'm not, but I've
He's
seen,
a gridiron guy.
Yeah, I'm not a big baseball guy. I mean, I'll follow it here and there from time to time, but I have seen the guys, you guys actually yell about the pitching of the Phillies, in the last couple of months, and seeing them kind of on a streak. I know that kind of makes you guys pretty excited about what the future may hold, if they can hold on and get some wins and take that wild card spot. So
I want to address something real quick because this has got brought up to me on my Facebook multiple times, and because of what I've said on the show. My job is to give an opinion. My job on this show is to give my honest opinion, my honest feedback. I watch the team a ton, but I've gotten a couple of shots thrown at me because, hey, if you weren't with us when we were losing, I've been watching the Phillies all year. Okay, listen, I don't think they're that good. I don't. I think they're an 82-80 team. I think if they're an 84-78 team, it's because another team collapsed and they got an extra 2 wins from it. In my personal opinion, the Philadelphia Phillies could make the playoffs. I think that it's a very quick series. I don't think that they win around. I don't think they will. But I'm going to root my ass off for them, and I'm going to watch every game. I don't want to give you a Gargano bullshit. I don't want to give you a Gargano opinion. Yeah, bro, they're going to win the World Series. Like, I'm not here to give you that. I'm here to give you honest feedback on things that I really watch and believe. So with the Philadelphia Phillies, I look at them as a team that's going to beat worse teams. They're going to win a lot of games in the second half of the season because their strength of schedule is lighter. They lost a lot of games in the first half of the season because their strength of schedule was tough. You're watching it. The Dodgers kicked their ass last night. They're beating them again tonight. I hope they get one in this series. If they get one, it'd be nice. But they're a middle of the road team. They're a fourth pitcher away. And I love what they did to trade that line. Let me be clear. I was very critical, and some people are critical of them not going out for it. Bryce Harper threw a temper tantrum that they didn't go after more players. I was very critical because I don't want them to destroy our farm system. You need homegrown talent to be successful in this league. Or you could spend $290 million if Dodgers do. But with the Philadelphia Phillies, it's very simple. They're a good, not great team. And they're not going to win the World Series this year. And if they do, I will be there in the parade and be happy as hell. Doesn't make me any less of a fan because I'm giving you honest feedback and an honest opinion about the team. Any final thoughts on the Phillies?
No, I think it's weird because normally I would say the roles were probably reversed between me and you on this. It's funny that I'm the optimist out of the two of us on the Phillies because I'm harder on them because obviously baseball is my first love. I'm harder on the Phillies than I am any other team in the city. There's going to be playoff baseball at the bank this year.
And that'll be nice. That'll be nice to watch. It's a step in the right direction.
The biggest thing I'll disagree with you on is I think they can win a series because they're going to get Milwaukee. They're going to get who's ever going to win the Central. Because whoever wins the West is going to have the best record, and they're going to end up getting the wild card. And to your point, though, I'll say Central is just as bad as the East is after Milwaukee. St. Louis is okay.
I think Milwaukee's a lot better team, man.
The Cubs have blown it up. Pittsburgh is
and don't
possibly the worst team in the league.
By the way, don't sleep on Milwaukee having the best record in the league because that entire division blew it up. And they're going to be playing a lot of those games versus them.
They are. I just think the Dodgers you're starting to see it. They've gotten hot the last week and a half. They've kind of found their mojo again, and they're just going to start beating everybody.
Well, they better get hot in the last week and a half. They have $290 million payroll.
San Diego or San Fran.
They're turning into friggin' Yankees.
San Diego or San Fran, one of them is going to fade. And I actually think it might be San Diego. They're struggling with they're struggling at home with the Pirates and stuff like that. They are very reliant on scoring a lot of runs. They really don't have the pitching to stay in it. Ever since Spider Tack came out, his numbers are down horribly. Snell's been a disappointment as high as we've been and as much as we've talked about him since we've had this show. I don't think they have the pitching to get there.
Everybody was doing Spider Tech bullshit, bro.
I get it, but some pitchers have adapted to it better. Look at Yu's numbers. Look at his spin rates. Everything are down. He's getting hit.
Up in that you. I'm kidding.
Snell's been terrible. Ryan Weathers is their 3. I'll take in a one game. I'll take Kyle Gibson over Ryan Weathers all day.
Real quick. What's your final thoughts on the Olympics? I have one. Anything that you want to add outside the USA basketball team?
I want to congratulate Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird, first people to ever win 5 gold medals in basketball. I think that's really cool, and they've been the cornerstone.
The GOAT women's basketball player Kevin Mooney would beat 1-on-1.
Well, not according to Kevin.
That was so dumb.
I think it was really cool. They've been there together from the start, and Taurasi was kind of joking about like leaving or coming back, and Sue Bird's like, "Don't even bother asking me. I'm done. Like I'm not doing this." You know. I think they were. I think that was a bright spot. Women's volleyball won their first ever gold medal. As much crap as we gave the men's basketball team, they still won gold. I don't think it was as impressive fashion as we all wanted to see, but they still got the job done. I'll still say the women's soccer team was the biggest disappointment for me.
Does it make you feel any different that Canada won the gold medal game?
No.
Okay. You said it was like unforgivable. That's why I'm saying that.
It's unforgivable for them to lose that game.
Okay. You got to be kidding me.
I do.
I love it. Yeah, continue. I just wanted to make sure you had one. We're getting spiked up right now.
I think it was minus the Simone thing. I think the gymnastics team had a good Olympics, and I don't mean to say minus like she did anything wrong. I'm just saying minus that whole story.
Well, Suni Lee. I'm gonna say her name 3 more times. Suni Lee. She needs her name said more.
Agreed, and we talked about this last show. That's the only part of the Simone thing I did not like. I really feel like Suni Lee didn't get her moment, and that annoys me. And that's not Simone's fault. That is the media still just rather cover Simone Biles than Suni Lee.
Yeah, well, you want to talk about a negative instead of a positive.
Yeah,
that's the problem. That's the problem with today's media. Period.
And that's just annoying on different levels. That's a different discussion for a different show.
I just want to say something about USA basketball.
Okay.
I think that the United States basketball team did exactly what I said they were going to do after that first loss to France. I watched their defense tighten up versus Iran. I said they were going to win the gold medal. They won the gold medal. They got better and better each game defensively. The France game was a little bit close near the end. The 2 biggest disappointments on the team were Dame Lillard and Bam Adebayo. I think they both played bad, period. But with that being said, Kevin Durant made his stake as the best basketball player in the world.
He's the best basketball player on the planet
right now.
When he's healthy, he's.
And I was really scared because if the United States, I'll say this very clearly, if the United States basketball team does not win gold medal, I don't want to hear the Milwaukee Bucks are world champions. They're not. They're NBA champions. They're not world champions. World champions signifies the best team in the world, and if we can't win a gold medal in basketball, sorry, we're not world champions. So Milwaukee Bucks are world champions, as next year we'll have world champions and world champions until the United States basketball team loses the Olympics.
Yeah. The only other thing I would say is, I said it last show too, Caleb Dressel and Sidney McLaughlin are your next 2
superstars.
Absolute superstar crossover athletes. You're going to see them everywhere. They're both very good people. They're both humble, good teammates. They both have the it factor. They're very marketable. They are going to be the next people that are going to be all over commercials, Wheaties boxes, everything. And they both deserve it. So.
Wheaties. Dante, give me your you gotta be kidding me.
My you gotta be kidding me has got to be the New York media over the New York Jets. We talked about it a little bit before the show.
We did.
Some anonymous players came out. It didn't really make the biggest headlines, but I feel like it's important enough, especially when you have a quarterback, which a lot of people agree was not the second best quarterback in this draft, coming from BYU, and Zach Wilson. But some of the players are coming out and saying, oh, man, he's terrible, not that great of a leader. And
kind of looks like he should be on a Disney Channel. He's not a great leader.
Well, you know, for all the crap that the New York Jets have been getting over the years, I think the wrong thing to do was to put it out there that the players are saying that. It's one of those things that you need to just keep under wraps until, you know, he comes in there and proves everybody wrong, if he does. But you don't need any more negative energy, you know, over that team right now, especially with a young quarterback that's only going to ruin his psyche. So with that being said,
come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Nobody hates an anonymous source more than Shally.
I hate them.
Shally, you gotta be kidding me.
I do. I was going to do the same thing you were, but I'll let you have that. I'm actually gonna dive into something we've talked about it on earlier shows before, and this pisses me off because it's a guy that I loved watching when he was at Michigan. But Devin Funchess of the Green Bay Packers made a anti-Asian remark during a news conference and thought it was funny. on top of everything else. And then once, of course, like all pro athletes, once he started getting feedback and negative publicity about it, then he decided to apologize. I know that's not how he was. I hate to say it, I know a lot about him because of his story, his family story. I know he wasn't raised that way. And again, we need to stop doing this. Like, if you say something about one race, it's okay. If you say something about another race, it's not okay. It's all got to stop. It's all got to stop. That's the only way it gets better. He should have got suspended. I think Green Bay dropped the ball on this. They should have suspended him for a game. And then even his apology, I hated his apology. His apology, he even like mentioned in his apology, like, I shouldn't have done that because I do business with these people. Like, no, that should have nothing to do with it, dude. Like, nothing at all. Like, your apology was half-assed. Your remark was offensive. You should have got suspended. Again, I think Green Bay is afraid to do anything because of what's going on with Rodgers. But I think they dropped the ball. I think they deserve blame in this as well. You got to stop it all, man. These professional athletes, you have to realize everything you say is not only recorded, but it's shared. Everybody's going to hear it. Mm-hmm. You have to be smarter with what you say. And honestly, you just shouldn't. That shouldn't be in your mind. If you're a professional athlete and you are a business partner with these people that are helping you make money and expand your brand, why would you want to make fun of them? Like, I just don't get it anymore. So for me this week, Devin Funchess, Green Bay Packers.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
So mine's real simple. I was going to play the audio, but there is none, obviously. Mine is, and you can play this any way you want. You can play it Jeff McClain side. You can play it the Fletcher Cox side. You can play it my side. My side's the Philadelphia Eagles PR team. You know not to go to Jeff McClain when Fletcher Cox is up there for an interview. That's your job. Don't tell me you didn't know this was going to happen. Jeff McClain has notably bashed Fletcher Cox in reports in the media for a year now. He's done it, and Fletcher Cox got into it about the Jeff McClain report. He was very pissed off about that because Fletcher was very good friends with Carson. They went hunting together. So you know that Fletcher Cox and Jeff McClain hate each other. You set yourself up for a headline story by letting Jeff McClain ask a question at Media Day to Fletcher Cox. Give Jeff McClain any other player on the Eagles, not Fletcher Cox. They hate each other. Mm-hmm. Fletcher Cox ignored him. And Jeff McClain goes, is my mic on? Can you guys hear me? Fletcher Cox continued to ignore him. Guys, is my audio working? Fletcher Cox continued to ignore him. Any other questions? Next question, Brantley Gotton asked. He answered faster than you could ever imagine, just to let everybody know his audio was working. He heard him. He was ignoring him and ghosting him intentionally. So you want to create a PR stir? That's fine. The Philadelphia Eagles PR team should have known better and not to go to Jeff McClain there. He's trashed. Jeff McClain's a great reporter. I have nothing against Jeff McClain. But you shouldn't go Jeff McClain with Fletcher Cox because now it's a national story and it doesn't need to be. So this week, the Eagles PR team.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
The only part of that I'll disagree with you is he's a beat reporter from this city. You can't put him in there and not take his questions.
Sure, just so you know, in media days, there's 100 reporters there to take 7 questions.
I get it, but again, Jeff McClain is also one of the head beat writers for this team, not only locally, nationally. Like, his stuff got picked up with the Wentz stuff, all that stuff. It's very hard to ignore him and not take his question knowing that. And I don't think, and again, whoever was doing that is sitting there clicking a button. I don't think Fletcher Cox came in and was like, click on him. I'm going to embarrass him. I'm not going to answer his question. I don't think that happened. I get what you're saying, and I agree with most of it. I don't think you can ignore Jeff McClain when the leader, not only of your one of the two main leaders of your locker room and the captain of your defense is talking. That's my only thing. I think that was going to happen one way or the other.
So we got big news coming fantasy football wise. We'll talk about it next week. We're gonna have an ECG Wire2Wire fantasy football league. We'll talk about that a little bit more and get all those details out. We're gonna have two listeners be in the draft from each group. Dante, thank you for coming in to show 44. Does anybody have a final thought?
No, I mean, just next week. I mean, I think we'll go into that more, and I think we'll probably dip our toe in college football next weekend.
I'm just kidding. Yes.
No, yeah.
It worked that time.
It did.
But yes, we will. Depercho and college football. Dante, any final thoughts?
No, our show's on Friday instead of tomorrow. I'm going to the Eagles game tomorrow night.
Friday, ECG.
Friday
Listen
at
to them.
6:30,
And then
so.
Thursday's going forward.
Yep.
Guys, thank you so much. This has been Wire to Wire, signing out, show 44.